So the Indiana Fever just won free agency. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. This team right here just won WNBA free agency. Forget about what the Mercury did. Forget about any of these other teams. The Fever just won free agency. And I'm telling you why you know the Fever won free agency. Because this is a tweet talking about the starting five. You're never going to guess who made this tweet. This is from Trendy Hoop Stars. This is from Trendy Hoop Stars. They literally have this team. And by the way, this isn't even the starting five. Kelsey Mitchell's there. This isn't even the starting five. They have added 3 unbelievable players. You have got 2 multiple time champion for DeWanna Bonner. I'm not sure on that. Definitely a champion with Phoenix. Multiple time champion Natasha Howard. And for lack of a better word, the biggest wind-up artist in the WNBA in Sophie Cunningham. They added her. And now we can watch this mini documentary on Sophie Cunningham from the Fever. Let's see what they say.
In Sophie Cunningham, the Indiana Fever are trading for a multi-dimensional wing, capable of knocking down the 3-ball.
Cunningham is starting to cook. Cunningham 3 is good.
Cunningham from the corner.
Locking down defenders.
Several deflections, and this time she gets the steal and the N1 opportunity.
And injecting passion and emotion into the game and into her team.
In fairness, that last one, yeah, fair enough. Like, Sophie Cunningham is, for lack of a better word, she is a wind-up artist. She is somebody that you love to have in your team. You hate to have it. You hate her if she's not in your team. And she's going to get in the opponent's heads. Let's be real. That's something she's going to do.
On offense, Cunningham is a floor spacer and a deep shot maker. Each of her last 3 seasons, she's finished top 20 in the WNBA in threes made per minute on the floor among qualified players. And she will join a backcourt that features 2 of the top 5 three-point shot makers from a year ago.
And ironically, she won't even start. The whole argument was who's going to start her or Lexi Hall. Then they go and sign DeWanna Bonner.
Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. Over Cunningham's last 4 seasons, she shot an impressive 38% from the three-point line. And among players to hit at least 200 threes over that time, only 4 players in the entire league have shot it better from distance. One of those being Kelsey Mitchell. And Cunningham's ability to space the floor should give the Fever All-Star backcourt even more room to create on the drive.
Yeah. And imagine having her at the 4 off the bench. Dear Lord, that's going to be the best offense the W has ever seen.
Than they had a year ago. But let's look at her defense, where in Phoenix, her versatility was on full display. Capable of guarding 1 through 4 in the lineup, she would defend star point guards one game, then be a small ball 4 the next night. As the Fever looked to improve defensively from a season ago, her style fits Stephanie White's perfectly.
I'm not going to lie, yeah. I think the whole thing with Sophie Cunningham, I always said this, and I'm like, her versatility, when I said yesterday, that's the biggest thing. Is that she 2 through 4, guard 1 through 4. Like, she is, I don't think she's as good a on-ball defender as Lexi Hall on wings, but I think she's a better overall defender than Lexi Hall. And shooting-wise, it'll be interesting to see which of the 2 is better, to be honest.
Aggressive, in your face, and physical. This style helps create turnover opportunities and fast break chances for her teammates, which underscores how she plays with an intensity and fiery passion matched by few. Throughout her career, Cunningham has had a knack for providing energy when her team needs it most.
She's also had a knack for trying to fight other teams. In fairness, like, she is, like, energetic to a fault. Like, she's someone that you want on your team. Like, she will always have your back, and that goes to anybody, for anybody. She's somebody that you want on your team, just purely basketball-wise. She's someone you do not want to play against. Because she is, for lack of a better word, on the floor, completely psycho. In a different way to Caitlin Clark, but she's nuts on the floor.
Cunningham is right in the heart of her prime, just 28 years old, but will bring playoff experience to the Fever too. She's played in 15 playoff games over her 6 seasons and logged nearly 300 playoff minutes. Key experience for a Fever team hoping to make deep playoff runs for years to come.
So yeah, obviously they posted this before they posted the free agency thing. Obviously, just my role, I'm an energy player, like we were hype. I'm my teammate's biggest fan. I just go out there, they gave me the ball, and I'm able to knock down shots. Like, look, Sophie Cunningham's a big addition. They obviously got off Nalissa, which is huge. Much better fit. Having Sophie Cunningham, let's be honest. They got Jaylen Brown. They're going to probably cut Jaylen Brown. I don't see where she comes in. Look, she's going to fight it out in preseason. I mean that. Jaylen Brown is going to absolutely fight it out in preseason with with Victoria Saxton, whoever they draft with 19 and whoever they draft with 20 for that last roster spot. The four of them are going to battle it out for one spot unless they trade off Christy Wallace. Sophie Cunningham, big addition, but obviously the Fever have not announced yet the two main additions officially. Like, we'll talk about this more when it happens, but like obviously there's a guard there when you've got Natasha Howard and DeWanna Bonner. Like, the two of them are, in my opinion, they are the big two. They would be the big two free agents. Like, when it comes to DeWanna Bonner, like, DeWanna Bonner has versatility, is an elite defender, has elite length, can rebound a little bit, is an unbelievable mid-range shooter, can shoot the 3-ball, is an off-the-ball player, doesn't need the ball in her hands to be effective, and is 6'4". She's 6'4". Let's not forget that. Let's not forget her at the 3. Like, she was an all-star last year at the 3. And, like, we're going to see, again, just a ridiculous team coming out. Then, obviously, there's Natasha Howard. Natasha Howard is somebody who, when she wants to, she can still play defense. Like, you don't lose being a defense player of the year. You can get lazy. And being on a bad defensive team, you can get lazy on defense. She's been lazy on defense overseas, but she's talking more about being a champion. She's talking about a lot of that stuff, and if she wants to do that, she's going to have to play defense. It's not just drop 30, and we all know that's still in there if she wants to. Like, a lot of players that were once good defenders and then end up being poor can always do it when they want to. She just hasn't wanted to, which is a bit of a concern, but I don't think so, just because of how garbage the Wings were last year, and how garbage they've been on defense in general. But then there is also the fact that she is killing it in Turkey. Like, she has been the best non-Fenerbahce player, arguably, in EuroLeague. This basically means it's unlikely that the team brings over a Janelle Salone. I don't think she necessarily would fit. And I don't think they would bring over Janelle Salone to come off the bench. But I would have rather had Janelle Salone than Natasha Howard. But for a 1-year rental, for this year alone, Natasha Howard's a great pickup. An absolutely fantastic pickup because she can shoot-ish. She's shooting okay overseas. But she is a slasher, she's a cutter, she runs the floor hard, and she is quite athletic. She is a she's a huge upgrade over Nalissa Smith. She is. Sophie Cunningham's a big upgrade. Like, the Fever turned Erica Wheeler's contract, Nalissa Smith, and the 8th pick into Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, and Sophie Cunningham. Are we joking? They managed to get one of, not one of the best power forwards in the league because it's a stack position. They got a power forward that I would consider, if we're talking who the best power forwards are, AJ if she plays there, Stewie, Fee. Top 3, no question about it. Alyssa Thomas, if she plays there, they're the top 4. Without question, they're the top 4. That was for the WNBALL Daily first team. Then you've got Nneka Nwumeke, who is probably maybe on the downturn of her career. And then after 5, you're looking and it's like Natasha Howard's in that conversation. Angel Reese is in that conversation. Is there anyone else that I'm forgetting off the top of my head? Satu, she's a power forward. Like, there's a lot of really good power forwards. And I think I would put her maybe above an Angel Reese. Not by much at this point in her career, but I would still put her above an Angel Reese. And like, this is their worst player in their starting five is now Natasha Howard. You have got a top 3 or 4 center in the W. If you consider AJ Wilson a power forward, you have got a person who is arguably the best center in the WNBA. You have got one of the top 7 or 8 power forwards in the most stacked position. And as far as small forwards are concerned, who's better than DeWanna Bonner? Genuinely. Kayla McBride. Kayla McBride is better. Who else? Genuinely. I'm trying to think. If you consider Kat Copper a small forward, maybe. But like at that 3-and-D wing, the 3-and-D wing does not really exist. Kayla McBride is a better 3-and-D wing. Leonie Fibic is better. I can't think of anyone else. At that 3-and-D wing position, I can't think of anyone else. And the absolute bench, for lack of a better word, shithouse player, there's no better player like that in the W than Sophie Cunningham. And they turned the worst defensive power forward in the W, Nalissa Smith, the worst contract in the W, Erica Wheeler, and an 8th pick who may not make the roster into the best, like the Sean Dyche's Burnley of the WNBA, arguably the best small forward, one of the best small forwards anyway in the W, and a huge upgrade over Nalissa Smith and a 3-time champion. The Fever won the offseason.